Okay, today we have an interesting conversation. This will be a little in-between video between episodes 9 and 10, and it's going to be on, as the title says, infection symptoms. And essentially, I have this theory that my friend told me, and as soon as he told it to me, I was like, wow, that really makes sense as far as how the virus, or whatever you want to call it, interacts within the human brain, and how a person's actions post-animation or post-infection, impact how they're. What the heck? No. Okay, we're back. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I forget exactly what I was talking about. I got a big pop up there. Let's move on and start talking about some good stuff here. So here's the theory. I'm just going to present you the theory, and then I'm going to go through some evidence and see, or some proof, or whatever you want to call it, some what I would consider backup. Any human who kills another human post-infection has an increased an increased need to kill more people. So essentially, if this is anyone who's, as it says, is post-infection, so pre-apocalypse, this doesn't matter. So if, for example, I go out and kill someone, I have a need that will continue to grow within me, and I'll basically start going a little bit crazy until I fulfill that need. You know, kind of like if you've ever seen Dexter, the TV show, kind of like that, basically, where he feels like he's got to make a kill. Similar concept. Possible exceptions to this rule. I was thinking about how this could be rebutted, and the two exceptions I come up with are Carl killing Lori, because Carl has not gone crazy yet, and you don't see him have a bloodlust, and same with Daryl as well. Both of those seem to be pretty level-headed guys who don't seem to have any concern about killing people haphazardly, or the need to kill people just to satisfy some primal desire. So those are two exceptions, and the reason I think that we could clump them together possibly into this theory is that their deaths, their murders, you could say, were mercy killings in a way. They were to what's the word? I'm thinking euphoria, but that's completely the wrong word. Darn it! The word where you kill someone in the hospital because they want to die. Shoot, I can't remember the name. It's got a funny name to it. Anyway, yeah. So they basically kill to prevent death and/or reanimation, which obviously occur together. Okay, so those are the exceptions. Now let's go through some kill lists here, and we'll examine these people's lives. So here's Rick Grimes. He's the first of three people that I've labeled as having. Actually, I've labeled 4 people as having this, but I've only really presented 3 in this argument. And the first one, we got Shane as his first, not his first kill? No, it's actually his last and most recent big kill. Except for Thomas, sorry. He killed Dave and Tony, as you may or may not remember, in the bar scene. These two guys, Rick believed, and a lot of viewers believe, was looking for the camp. I think these are the first 2 humans that Rick killed. I could be wrong on that. He then goes on to kill Shane. I think that's the order of how it goes. Pretty sure. And Thomas in the 3rd season, or Thomas, or however you want to say his name. So, again, these are just kill lists to show you the type of killings he's done and how it's repeating. And in my opinion, Shane, you could say was self-defense. Dave and Tony, you could say all of these were self-defense. But I'm looking for something. I'm trying to find something deeper to answer the problem out there of why these men in this world. The next 2 we're going to look at are Merle and the Govenor, and Shane as well is included in this group. Is why their needs and their desires are brought to the most low primal elements, and they basically become. I'm just thinking of that quote that's said in the Walking Dead video game where Jolene in the camping woods says, "You're not men, you're monsters." And I think that these 4 men, Rick, Shane, Merle, and the Govenor, are in their own essence monsters, and Shane, you could definitely see that he totally became a monster, and it just also has to do with the perspective that we have on him. The Governor is definitely, you consider him a monster, and all these guys. So let's move on. You get the idea. Here's an interesting tidbit we'll get into later. This is a soldier in the episode 8 of season 3 that Rick shoots, and then he walks up to him and sees that he thinks that he's Shane. He has a hallucination, one of 3 I think that he's had so far. And so he starts really having some freak out issues here. And then we go on to Merle. We'll talk about hallucinations in a bit, and that kind of thing. So Merle's kills. He killed a number of military guys with the Governor, which we'll talk about in a second, on the Governor's little killing run. And he killed Gargiulio, which to me, Gargiulio's killing, that was definitely not self-defense killing. That was like a pleasure kill. And I think that's the difference between the difference between Rick and the Governor / Merle is that the Governor and Merle will kill for pleasure, whereas Rick does not. Rick he has a moral code by which he kills so far, and we'll see if he can maintain that going forward. So I think the biggest thing to look for in this series or in the next couple episodes is to see the longer someone goes without killing someone, the more insane they become. And that's why I think Rick is having Rick is having trouble focusing. He's having a lot of hallucinations these days. Obviously, he's went through a tough time with his wife dying, and that just compounds the issue. But I think there's something to be said about all this. So let's move on to the Governor. And obviously, this was one of the first, I think, episodes we saw him in, was this pleasure raid attack on the military outpost right here, which was totally unnecessary. This military group, I mean, I guess you could see them as being like competition, possibly. Like if Lieutenant Brad here, showed up at Woodbury, maybe all the people would want the military to lead and not the Governor to lead, or whatever. Excuse me. So, but for the most part, I mean, it was just a slaughter fest. I mean, yeah, they gained some weapons, but it was just a slaughter fest. Absolutely unacceptable. Moving on, let's talk about the hallucinations. I don't want to make this video too long because most of my videos are long anyway. So the possibility of there being a symptom, which is insanity, as I talked about earlier, if you've ever seen Dexter, basically, what I'm picturing in this symptom thing here is you're infected from as soon as you get infected post-apocalyptic or whatever everyone is through some kind of air virus thing. You make a kill on someone for whatever cause, if you want to call it self-defense, if you want to call it anger or wrath, to protect your wife or whatever you want to call it. You make a kill, and then you come off that kill and you slowly decline until you hit a down point where maybe you kill again or you just continue to lose it and someone kills you or something. Now, if you make another kill, you'll return to your sanity for a while. But each time you go through this process of falling into insanity and returning to sanity, the time lapse decreases. So like the period length decreases. So between the first and second kills might be like a span of like 6 months, but between the 14th and 15th kill might be only like a couple days or a week. Like it just escalates, and I think that the Governor is at the point where he, and maybe even Merle too, because Merle seems to go out of his way to try and kill people in some situations, or at least to cause bodily harm. The Governor is much farther along this sequence of events than Rick is, but Rick is nevertheless transitioning there. And I think if he makes a kill in the next couple episodes, I think you'll see him return to Rick form for a time, and then he'll start falling off again, possibly. So we'll just keep an eye out for that. I understand that this theory is neither confirmable nor totally refutable, so I simply present it to you as a possibility, and that's all I have to say, guys. I hope you understood my train of thought. Maybe I should put a diagram in there, but I think I tried to elaborate what I was saying. And thanks for watching, guys. What are your thoughts? Put them in the comments below. And if you like this video, then like it. It lets me know that I'm on, that I'm actually producing things that people actually want to watch, because I don't want to produce things that are a waste of anyone's time. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.